about faith community issues, and how do you respond to that?
I obviously resigned from the Labour Party. I think these two parties have gone to the extremes. I think the crisis with Islamophobia and anti-Semitism is something that needs to be tackled. And if I could just make this one last statement, you're absolutely right. It's about evidence and what you've done. I've put everything on the line for this because I believe it's not acceptable to keep propping it up.
Faith groups across Luton are actually having to plug the gap for the failure of this government when it comes to feeding the people of Luton, when it comes to housing the people of Luton, and when it comes to supporting them. And what I would like to see is that we have a government that actually moves on from this so that faith communities can actually concentrate on volunteering on other things. What I have done personally, I have sat on anti-Semitism panels within the Labour Party. I have voted to remove people where they have been anti-Semitic or Islamophobic or sexist. I have also spoken out at anti-fascist demos across the country, and I will continue to work with faith communities and groups across Luton.
Now, what I believe in is that the faith communities, and even within the Muslim communities, we have different sections of fiqhs. To bring them together is very important to me, and I will stand for the faith communities because I'm myself a committed Muslim, and I believe that right now, if you look at all the different faith communities, one of the most scrutinized community and persecuted community, I feel, is the Muslim community, and we do need to stand up. If we are silent, I'm sorry, we won't get anywhere. Thank you.
You may have followed this this week, is call out the Prime Minister for his comments about Muslim women on Islamophobia specifically. Now, he's given an apology of sorts. Maybe that goes far enough. I wish he went further, but I'll continue to press him and others on Islamophobia particularly, because I know the hurt and pain that causes our community.
I personally think on Islamophobia, I think we should legislate on this. And we should push for that sort of legislation, that no party has any, or no organization as such, come to that sort of level. Yeah, my personal record it speaks for itself, because I was the one who initiated the first faith group walking around the mosques by different communities, if you're going back about 15 years ago now. And I've always supported the causes of all the different faiths in the town, across the town, visited every one of the mosques, churches, synagogues, mandirs and everything, you name it.
Okay.
For the Conservative Party, I've led a group called Croydon Community Liaison Group, where we had an outreach program to all sorts of different, so the Bangladeshi community, the Afghan community, the Pakistani community, Polish, all different communities who don't normally necessarily see themselves as natural conservatives, but I think they are, and I made the case to them and welcomed them all in.
I mentioned earlier that I was a youth worker, and I couldn't have done my job if I didn't have a good relationship with all the faith communities, because quite often, particularly working with young women, you need to have the support of their families in order to work with them. Now, what concerns me at the moment, a friend of mine set up a charity you may know of called Tell Mama, and every time anyone, whether that's Boris Johnson or anyone else in public life, says something Islamophobic, that the rate of attacks go up, and we have to do something about that. We have to do something about that. That's why my party is committed to making hate crime an aggravated crime.
Anyone who works in the community in Luton will work shoulder to shoulder with people of all faiths and none. And I can say as a local councillor over the last 8 years, I've done my bit, both in my wards, when I've engaged with church groups or local mosques, and equally when I've done my own volunteering, because I know how many people of faith actually contribute their time to volunteering in our town. And I agree wholeheartedly with Sarah that we would not be able to deliver so many services for our people without community and faith groups.
Overall, in terms of the Green Party, one of the things that we very deeply value is the way that faith after faith after faith puts protection of our common environment, creation, our common heritage, maybe divine heritage,
Thank you.
centre of its faith.
What attracted me to the Green Party was its inclusiveness
and the fact that it is against all forms of discrimination, whether that be Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, any discrimination based on sex, gender, sexual orientation. So the Green Party actively challenges any discrimination, and one of the things that the Green Party was set up is an intergovernmental panel to tackle inequality throughout Parliament. And one of the things the Green Party did in this election was positive discrimination in terms of trying to get representatives of parliamentary candidates from different backgrounds to stand, so we've got more diversity of candidates better representing the communities that they're standing for.
I have a very personal view on running companies, and obviously as a Brexit party, that most of the people or companies, they have policies. There's this is called divide and rule. But my policy is unite and bright. So our party is going to work with all the communities and everybody together and make this country best again. Thank you.